So I'll back clean up here. I'll try not to repeat the excellent points my colleagues made, other than to reinforce one. I want the American people to truly understand who will pay for this reckless tax and spending spree. They will. Either through the fact that the inflation will wipe out any wage gains or eventually increase taxes. That is what will happen. But I want to make 2 points. I want to also talk about when you hear Maya McGinnis's group saying this isn't $3.5 trillion, this is going to be more like $5. It's easy to explain how this is going to happen. Democrats will pass new entitlements, make more Americans dependent on government, and they'll only pass them and score them for a couple of years. But we all know government ratchets only in one direction, up. So once you have a new entitlement granted, it's almost impossible to remove it. And so whatever the headline number on this thing is going to be, it's going to be much larger than $3.5 trillion. The other thing we're talking about is inflation. I want to talk about the specter of stagflation. Back in Wisconsin, I don't think there's hardly any employer that can hire enough people. I come from a manufacturing background. Our home builders said that the price of a home in Wisconsin has increased $36,000 because of the cost of lumber. And they can't get the components. They can't get the appliances. Every manufacturer, whether it's a basic component like plastic resin, it's on allocation. So the fact that we have paid people not to work, employers are having to shut down lines, which is causing a supply dislocation. So we don't have the supply. And of course, inflation is caused by too many dollars, which the Fed is printing with all this deficit spending, chasing too few goods, and we've jammed up our manufacturing process so we don't have the goods. So that is the definition of stagflation. I lived through it in the late 70s. It's not fun. It's even less fun trying to break that cycle, but that's exactly what the Biden administration is putting us on a path towards stagflation. Uncontrolled inflation combined with a stagnant economy, it's not a pretty sight.